Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ken Kitts, President of the University of North Alabama, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the faculty and staff of UNA, I welcome you to this, our 2017 mid-year commencement for the Anderson College of Nursing and the UNA College of Arts and Sciences. Let us begin by bowing our heads for a moment of silence as we give thanks for our many blessings this year and for these special graduates here this morning. Amen. Please remain standing for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sing us that star-spangled banner yet wave, for the land of the brave and the home of the brave.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, this ceremony represents a very special time for each graduate and his or her family and friends. To maintain the dignity of this distinctive occasion and out of respect for all of our graduates, we ask that you please silence cell phones, refrain from clapping or cheering until the end of the program, and this is very important, please remain seated until the ceremony is ended so that each graduate's name can be heard when announced. Commencement is a celebration of academic attainment to bring greetings to you from the academic community of the University of North Alabama. It is my pleasure to introduce you to our Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Ross Alexander. Dr. Alexander.
Thank you, President Kitts. I too welcome all of you. On behalf of the faculty and staff at the University of North Alabama, I congratulate all of our graduates for this momentous accomplishment. The most recent data indicates that approximately 24% of Alabama residents 25 or older possess a baccalaureate degree or higher. Nationally, the percentage is 30%. For graduate degrees, the national average is 12%, with 8% of Alabama residents possessing a graduate degree. Therefore, you can take great pride in earning your degree from UNA as it distinguishes you in the global marketplace. As most of you know, the University of North Alabama enjoys a long history, tracing its origins to LaGrange College, which was established in 1830. This ceremony marks the 150th mid-year commencement. There are 525 in your graduating class this semester. With the addition of this graduating class, you are now part of a total of 60,145 students who have graduated from UNA. Today's graduates represent 19 states, including Alabama, and 9 countries. UNA alumni have forged distinguished careers, including a Pulitzer Prize winner for literature, a Grammy Award winner, 2 Alabama governors, a Texas governor, numerous members of the U.S. Congress, and a special assistant to the President of the United States, and numerous leaders in business and public service. Your fellow graduates have gone on to attain distinction in their chosen fields, and I know each of you will do the same. Regardless of your chosen career, I urge each of you to find a way to make positive impact in your community and in the world. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Provost Alexander. I would like to introduce now several groups of people who are celebrating this special occasion with you. Please hold your applause until each group has been introduced. Beginning with our stage party, I ask the following individuals to stand when their name is called. Dr. Carmen Burkhalter, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Vicki Pierce, Dean of the Anderson College of Nursing, Ms. Amber Fight Morgan, University Attorney and Chief Diversity Officer, Mr. Mark Linder, Director of Athletics, Dr. Debbie Shaw, Vice President for University Advancement, Mr. Evan Thornton, Vice President for Business and Financial Affairs. Continuing to the front row, Dr. Dan Halleck, Faculty Senate President and Mace Bearer, Dr. Ross Alexander, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, Mr. Jonathan Pettis, our guest speaker, who will be formally recognized later in the program, Dr. Jeffrey Bibby, Chair of the History Department, who will assist with the presentation of graduates, Mr. Ron Patterson, Chief Enrollment Officer. Please join me in welcoming the stage party. I'd like to note that we are also joined today by many faculty members representing the College of Arts and Sciences and the Anderson College of Nursing. Colleagues, thank you for being here today. There are also many members of the UNA staff scattered throughout the room and working very hard behind the scenes to facilitate and support this commencement ceremony. Members of the UNA Wind Ensemble, directed by Dr. Lloyd Jones, thank you so much for your participation today, as well as family and special guest of Mr. Jonathan Pettis. Now to our speaker. Graduates, 30 years ago, today's guest speaker was one of you. A native of nearby Killen, Jonathan Pettis graduated from UNA with degrees in secondary education and math and computer science and history. He taught math and computer programming and coached basketball at Coffee High School for a couple of years before his career shifted more into information technology and eventually led him to join NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville in 1991. You can see in your program the array of his responsibilities there that eventually led him to service in Washington as Chief Information Officer of NASA. He later came back to Alabama as Marshall's Chief Information Officer and currently serves as Associate Director of the Marshall Space Flight Center. Over the years, he's been involved with the International Space Station, the Space Shuttle program, the new Space Launch System, and NASA's operations in Russia. Mr. Pettis has received numerous commendations from NASA for success in his field, as well as the federal government's Meritorious Presidential Rank Award in 2008 and the Distinguished Presidential Rank Award in 2010. Mr. Pettis, his wife Angela, and their family now reside in Athens, and we're delighted that he could return to his alma mater to speak with you today. Please join me in giving a warm lion welcome to Mr. Jonathan Pettis.
Wow. Dr. Kitts, thank you for such a warm introduction. President Kitts, faculty, graduates, it is such an honor to be asked to come back here to my alma mater and to share this day with you. To the graduates, it's been almost exactly 30 years to the day that I sat where you sit right now. I remember the pride of knowing I had achieved an important milestone, the joy of celebrating that milestone with friends that I had made while I was in school here, but also I would say there was a mix of excitement, but also some fear in what the future might hold. Now, you young people today have no idea what a scary world 1987 was. I was graduating into a world of economic uncertainty, a country deeply divided politically over things like tax cuts and whether we had a good president or a bad president. We lived with the threat of nuclear attack. We were worried about terrorist attacks. And new technologies like the personal computer were having a major disruptive effect on jobs and business. Sound familiar? So I've been in your shoes, and having been in those shoes, I want to try and share some thoughts in the next few minutes that at least may ease some of the angst some of you may be feeling. Now, when I first received the invitation from the university, I was so honored and excited to be asked, but I did begin to wonder, what have I done to deserve such an honor? Now, it first occurred to me that it must be my illustrious academic record while I was a student here. In just a few minutes, as is tradition, the university will recognize the graduating senior with the highest GPA as the recipient of the coveted Keller Key. And I am so proud to tell you that on my graduation night 30 years ago, I took home the Keller Key. Thank you. Now, there is one detail that I left out, and that was because my then fiancée, Angela, and now my wife of 29 years, graduated with me that night, and she actually had the highest GPA, and she won the Keller Key. But we did ride together, and I did take her home, so technically it's accurate to say that I took home the Keller Key. However, I do deserve some credit, I think, for marrying someone more intelligent than me. That's the first life tip, kids. Marry, from an intelligent standpoint, marry up. On my big day 30 years, I will say it is actually very nice to finally get some attention at a UNA graduation. 30 years ago, right after the ceremony, I think it was right down here, Angela and I were chatting, and the university photographer actually said, "Sir, I don't know who you are, but could you move out of the way so we could get a picture of Angela with Dr. Galat, who was the president then?" Now, that's understandable. But then my mom and dad said, "Jonathan, would you mind moving out of the way so we could get a picture of Angela with her Keller Key?" Today, we were driving over this morning, and I said, "Angela, 30 years ago, in your wildest dreams, could you ever have imagined that we would be driving here and I would be doing the commencement speech?" And she said, "Jonathan, I hate to break it to you, but you're not in my wildest dreams." I didn't run that line by her, so hope I'm okay. What I do know, she has a way of keeping me humble. What I do know is that I think this honor has fallen on me because of the great organization and team that I've been part of. I am so blessed to be part of the NASA team, an organization with such a lofty and incredible mission. I get to work with people who do amazing things. People at Marshall built and tested the Saturn V rocket that took us to the moon. They built the propulsion systems that powered the space shuttle for 135 launches over a 30-year period. And today I work with people who built the International Space Station that's flying above us right now, 250 miles above the Earth, traveling at 17,000 miles per hour, so fast that the station orbits the Earth every 92 minutes. 6 crew members from the United States, Italy, and Russia are living and working up there right now. And the space station has been continuously occupied for 17 straight years. This spring, there will be high school graduates that will graduate, and their whole life someone has been living and working in space. I work with people that built and manage today the Hubble Space Telescope that enables us to peer deep into the heart of the universe and see 13 billion light years into our past. I work with people who manage the New Horizons mission, where we built and launched a spacecraft that traveled 3 billion miles over 9 years to the planet Pluto. Now, yes, when I was at UNA, we still called it a planet, so I call it a planet. We beamed pictures, we were able to beam the pictures back to Earth. It flew within 7,000 miles of the planet. We beamed pictures. You may have seen some of those spectacular images of the planet Pluto over our network. Now, I'll admit, I'm like a lot of guys. I try to impress my wife and kids about what I do at work every now and then. So that night I came home, that night of the New Horizons flyby, and the images were all over the national news and the media. And I said, Angela, isn't it amazing that we built a data network that can enable a spacecraft that is 3 billion miles away to send those images back to Earth? And she said, that's real good, Jonathan. So if you're so smart, how about seeing if you can get that router in our living room to reach upstairs, like I've been asking you to? And now we're working on the next great American rocket, one that will put the moon, Mars, and other deep space worlds in reach of humankind. It's called the Space Launch System. We call it SLS, and it will be the most powerful rocket ever created. When fully assembled on the launch pad, SLS will stand over 325 feet tall and be capable of generating 8.8 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. That's equivalent to 160,000 Corvette engines. We just finished manufacturing all the major flight hardware for its first mission, and we're now testing all of those components to ensure the rocket is ready to launch for 2019, December 2019 actually, 2 years from now. It will give the United States the capability to take humans deeper into space than we've ever flown and give us the transportation platform that can enable trips back to the moon and a gateway for eventually humans traveling to Mars. So I'm here not really because of what I've achieved, but because I am part of a NASA team, part of a team that has achieved so much through the years and continues to dream about the future. So given that, what can I share with you maybe today in a few moments about your future? Consider that new rocket, the Space Launch System that we're building and testing right now. What's the purpose of a rocket and what does it take for it to achieve its mission? A rocket's purpose is to overcome the force of gravity and lift its payload, including humans, beyond Earth's atmosphere and toward a destination in space. Doesn't that kind of sound like where you are right now in a way? You're all like rockets sitting on a launch pad, and you have untested potential to go to places that you can't even imagine. But what will it take in order for you to get there? It might be helpful to think about what it takes for a rocket to achieve its mission. First, you need a launching pad that provides a stable starting point. I believe that whether you've lived a charmed life to this point or overcome very difficult circumstances to get here, you've all made it here today to graduation. I'm so impressed and have so much respect for UNA and what it means to me and what it has meant. I really didn't appreciate how much I learned here and how much I grew here while it was happening, but I can see it now. For me, it was a place where professors like Dr. Patricia Roden and Dr. Eddie Joe Bracken actually knew my name, and they still know my name today. It was a place that challenged me, where I learned how to study and how to work, and that there were consequences when you didn't. I remember paying a required visit to my counselor midway through the first semester of my sophomore year, and I was expecting to be congratulated for my solid, low B average. He looked at my grades and my ACT score, and he said, "Mr. Pettis, it appears to me that you're underachieving." He asked, "Are you okay with not doing your best? It's not the numeric score of your grades that matter, but it is a question of are you okay with mediocrity?" Just something for you to think about. That feedback was short and tough, but it had a lasting impact on me. I don't think I made another B the rest of my college career, but that really wasn't what was important. What was important was learning that it was my decision whether to accept mediocrity or work for excellence. And as I walk around campus today and see how it's grown and improved, I can see that this place is still about excellence. I know that this university has provided you with an opportunity to learn in the classroom and mature as a person through your experiences here. You should have confidence as you graduate today that you are prepared and ready for launch. UNA has given you a great launching pad. The second thing a rocket needs is fuel. Two of the most important pieces of the new rocket that we're building are the liquid hydrogen tank and the liquid oxygen tank. And they provide the fuel necessary to lift a 5.5 million pound rocket into space. You too will need fuel for your journey. It's going to come from people around you that you learn from, that give you energy, encouragement, love, and support to help you along the way. Look around you. I bet some of your best sources of fuel are here with you today to see you. Don't take them for granted. One example of someone who helped fuel my tank was a man named Harlan Hill. Now, some of you will remember him. He graduated from this institution when it was Florence State Teachers College and went on to star for the Chicago Bears in the NFL. He was Rookie of the Year in 1954 and Most Valuable Player in 1955. But I knew him as my principal and coach at Brooks High School. Coach Hill helped fuel my rocket by teaching me the importance of focusing on what you can control and not obsessing over those things you can't. He would constantly remind us that there are two things you can control in life: your attitude and your effort. He said to work on a positive mindset and that it was okay to fail, but it was never okay to be outworked. When you remember teaching like that from 35 years ago, that's real fuel. And don't be fooled by false fuel. The real fuel comes from people who are there for you when times are rough, when you need a boost. The third thing that's required for a successful mission is fire. That's probably the image we have and think of most when we think of a rocket launch. The fire blasting from the rocket engine nozzles. That fire is essentially creating the force necessary to propel the rocket through Earth's gravity and into space. You can reach your greatest potential when you have a fire, a passion for what you do. I'm thankful for my father and my mother, Ronald and Brenda, who graduated from Florence State as well. And they were both school teachers, and they helped nurture in me a fire, a passion for learning at an early age. My mom, some of my earliest memories were my mom and dad watching the Apollo moon landings with me. My mom would read me books about space before bed, and they threw a NASA-themed birthday party for me when I was 5 years old. Dad took me to see the first space shuttle, Enterprise, when it arrived in Huntsville when I was in middle school. My parents sparked a fire that has carried me on my journey and still carries me today. But fire is both a necessity for space flight and also the greatest risk in space flight. Fire can lead to disaster. On a cold January day in 1986, I was driving back to campus for my data structures class over here across the street up on the hill at the math building. I'd gone to grab a burger for lunch, and just as I arrived back at campus, I heard the news that something terrible had happened to Space Shuttle Challenger as it climbed through the sky. We lost 7 brave astronauts that day. I remember us all sitting in class and wondering what our professor, Dr. Oscar Beck, would do. He came in and he said, "You've all probably heard the terrible news regarding the space shuttle." And he went on to tell us how he had friends at Marshall who worked in the program, including some former students, and we should all remember them because this was going to be a tough day. We wondered if he would cancel class, but I remember him saying that the best way we could honor their loss was to spend the next 90 minutes learning and working. See, Dr. Beck was really modeling what NASA and the country did in response to that tragic day. Don't quit, learn from our mistakes, and go back to work. Dr. Beck taught us a lot more than data structures that day, and I'll never forget it. What the crew of the Challenger knew was our greatest experiences and accomplishments come when we are willing to take risk. If we wanted to be completely safe and eliminate the risk of space flight, we would never light the rocket. We would be safe, but we wouldn't go anywhere. That's the way life works too. Find your passion and be willing to take a risk to fulfill it. When you fail, learn from it and move on. Now, a rocket also needs a guidance and navigation system in order to keep it on track and adjust the course when necessary. Make no mistake about it, this may or may not be the end of your formal education, but you're going to need to keep learning the rest of your life. Be curious and remain agile. Most every field is being disrupted and impacted by technology and societal changes. You need to be open to new ideas, new approaches, and new information. You need to be able to take what you learn, feed them into your flight computer, adjust course, and continue on your journey. And all along the way, I think it's critical to have a guide to believe in and follow that's bigger than yourself. For me, it's a faith that we have a final destination that is not attainable through human effort, but only through the grace of God. And finally, a rocket needs a destination or a purpose, and you're going to need one too. Last week, I had the incredible honor of spending the better part of a day with Harrison Schmitt. He's now 82 years old, and he's the last living man to have walked on the moon as part of Apollo 17. And he was at Marshall to celebrate the 45th anniversary of the Apollo 17 mission. We talked about the legacy of the Apollo program and how it's such a perfect example of what we humans can do when we're all unified and committed to a clear purpose, even when the destination seems impossible. Now, there are lots of good reasons to explore space. There's scientific benefits, defense benefits, and economic benefits. And these are all important. But I think the greatest benefit might be a bit more abstract. I think we explore because of how it inspires us. At a time when it feels like so much divides us, exploring space, seeing a successful rocket launch, seeing a view of the Earth from space station or close-up pics of Pluto reminds us of what we humans can do and who we can be when we're at our best. What does that have to do with you finding your purpose? Right now in our country, we have so much that divides us. But this great experiment, the one we are all part of, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, it's at risk when we cannot no longer come together around those things that unify us, the principles of liberty, freedom, and service to our fellow man. What do you think the antidote to that threat is? I don't think it's in electing the right politician or winning the latest argument or creating new laws or programs, although sometimes those can help. I believe the answer is really us. It's you and it's me, finding a greater purpose. Maybe our most important purpose is not about what great heights we can achieve in terms of stature, acclaim, or wealth. Someone will leave here today and become a nurse that spends their career caring for people in the dark times of illness. Someone will leave here and become a teacher. They will dedicate their life, like my mom, my dad, and Coach Hill, to educating and developing young people. Many of you will find success in business and create wealth and opportunities for others. Some will create great art or music that inspires and encourages others. These are the kind of things that bring us together and allows this grand experiment to continue. So maybe, just maybe, it's not about how high or far our rocket travels, but how many other rockets we help lift off the launch pad along the journey. One final note. Last week I mentioned to Harrison Schmidt that I would be doing this commencement speech, and I asked Harrison if he had a message for you. He thought for a moment and he replied, "Time is relentless, so tell them to make the most of it." So I said, "Harrison, the last living man to walk on the moon, I think you just wrote the end of my speech. So congratulations, class of 2017. Good luck and Godspeed on your journey."
Thank you, Mr. Pettis, for those wonderful remarks. It's my pleasure to again introduce the UNA Wind Ensemble and Miss Jessica Rice for musical selection.
While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for the land so fair, as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet now to join me in singing. God bless America.
The University of North Alabama had one faculty member who retired at the end of the summer 2017 term from the College of Arts and Sciences, who is being honored at this commencement program, Dr. Donald H. Rausch. Dr. Rausch will be presented with a certificate of meritorious service that reads as follows. To Donald H. Rausch, member of the faculty, professor, scholar, and friend. Greetings, congratulations, and cordial good wishes. From your friends and professional associates, the faculty, staff, students, and alumni of the University of North Alabama, we cite you for signal honor on the occasion of your retirement from active duty after long and meritorious service to the university. With this citation, you are appointed by the president of the university to the status of Professor Emeritus with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining. Would Donald H. Rausch please come forward? Dr. Rausch, professor of biology, served the university for 28 years, from 1989 to 2017. We thank Dr. Rausch for his dedicated service to the University of North Alabama and its students. The Keller Key Award was established as a memorial to the late President James Albert and Mrs. Mary Glenn Keller. A Keller Key is presented at each commencement to the honor graduates who, on the basis of having earned all credits for the bachelor's degree at this university, has made the highest scholastic average. For the mid-year commencement, the summer and fall graduates are combined to determine the Keller Key recipient. This semester, there are 2 recipients, one of which will be awarded at this afternoon's ceremony. Will the marshals please escort to the platform the following recipient of the Keller Key for this morning's ceremony? Ms. Caitlin Taylor Spillman. Ms. Spillman completes the Bachelor of Social Work degree with a major in social work. She graduates today with a grade point average of 4.0 on a scale of 4.0.
Each of the university's college deans will present candidates for the conferral of their respective degrees. Would Dr. Vicki Pierce, Dean of the Anderson College of Nursing, please come forward?
As you are able, would candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Nursing please stand and remain standing? President Kitts, it is with great pleasure that I present these candidates to you for the conferral of their degree.
Through the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees for the University of North Alabama, I now bestow upon each of you the degree of Master of Science in Nursing. Please be seated.
As you are able, would the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing please stand and remain standing? President Kitts, it is with great pleasure that I present to you these candidates for the conferral of their degree.
Through the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees for the University of North Alabama, I now bestow upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Please move the tassel from the right edge to the left edge of your cap. Please be seated. Would Dr. Carmen Burkhalter, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, please come forward?
As you are able, would candidates for the following graduate degrees in the College of Arts and Sciences please stand and remain standing? Master of Arts, Master of Professional Studies, Master of Science, and Master of Science in Criminal Justice. President Kitts, it is with great pleasure that I present these candidates to you for the conferral of their degree.
Through the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees for the University of North Alabama, I now bestow upon each of you your respective graduate degree. Please be seated.
As you are able, would candidates for the following undergraduate degrees in the College of Arts and Sciences please stand and remain standing? Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Science in Music, Bachelor of Social Work. President Kitts, it is with great pleasure that I present these candidates to you for the conferral of their degree.
Through the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees for the University of North Alabama, I now bestow upon each of you your respective baccalaureate degree. Please move the tassel from the right edge to the left edge of your cap. Congratulations. Please be seated. Graduates, you entered Flowers Hall today as students, and you are now alumni of the University of North Alabama. And in that regard, UNA Alumni Association President Aaron Irons will now come to the podium to extend greetings.
Thank you, President Kitts. As the UNA National Alumni Association President, it is a pleasure to be here today, and I would like to congratulate all of you on your accomplishments. Let me be the first to welcome you to your Alumni Association. Your involvement with UNA does not have to end here today. I encourage each of you to seek out your fellow alumni wherever life may take you. For those connections may one day lead to your dream job. Stay involved through your local area alumni clubs, your alumni association, and through university events. Get connected. Follow us online and through social media. Update your current contact information. And don't forget about the university resources now offered to you as an alumni. I remember sitting in those seats where you are today, thinking to myself, another speaker. I sure hope this one talks fast. With that being said, let me leave you with this. You'll often hear that it is a jungle out there, and outside of those doors, it truly is. Just remember, lions rule the proverbial jungle, and you are all now part of a very large pride. Roar Lions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Irons. So graduates, all the preliminaries are over. We've had our time on the stage. Now it's your turn. How does it feel? Let's try that again. How does it feel? All right, there we go. So at this time, I will ask the marshals to conduct the candidates to the stage to receive their diplomas. You will note that the college deans will offer congratulations as the graduates exit the stage. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated until the ceremony has ended so that each graduate's name can be heard when announced.
Graduates from the Anderson College of Nursing, Robin Lynn Talley, Jackie Reed Soden, Catherine Taylor Hamilton, Kristen Andrea Binion, Jocelyn Michelle Brown, Jessica Ann Morgan, Megan Danielle Haas, Hannah Marie Putnam, Courtney Lane Cottingham, Heather Marie Smith, Paige Jacqueline Carroll, Chelsea Morgan Ivy, Madison Taylor Chastain, summa cum laude, Amber Terry Hunt, summa cum laude, Paige Lane Brooks, cum laude, Carrie Roxanne Hovatter, Rachel Leanne Hutto, magna cum laude, Alexandria Du Bois Green, cum laude, Carly Renee Dempsey, Danielle Alexis Austell. Graduates from the UNA College of Arts and Sciences, Seth Stone Armstrong, Caitlin Haddock Daniel, Brian William Murphy. Mr. Murphy will have his diploma presented by his wife, Dr. Katie Owens Murphy, Assistant Professor of English. Amy Lee Bishop, Amanda Thomas Sherrod, John Brian Ford, Vera Allen Smith, Sarah Ann Tillery, magna cum laude, Taryn Aubrey Dersham, Jasmine Kirsten Marie McCleary, Sarah Ann Stevens, cum laude, Troy McNeil Chandler, cum laude, Kayla Ann Lindley, Congratalitha Vigale Payne, Stephanie Diane Tucker, magna cum laude, Andrea Denise Dawson, cum laude, Morgan Brianna Smith, Anna Lindsay Rickman, Catherine Marie Barano, Haley Jordan Hazen, Candace Carol Rayburn, Catherine Leanne Sneed, summa cum laude, Ashley Brooke Terry, cum laude, Catherine Elizabeth Trousdale, Megan Rector Estes, Jessica Mallory Walker, Denisha Loachelle Canillo, Shannon Lynn Williams, Mackensley Paige Johnson, Lily Gail Powell, Melissa Ann Cromwell, Joy Caitlin Monroe, LaShonda Monique Little Davidson, Sheikh Farad, Tong Wu, Chandler Stewart White IV, April Rose Brianna Benson, Megan Elizabeth Kuykendall, Laura Ashley Robinson, Michael Bryant McGee, Kyle J. Rummage, Darby Sledge Garrison, Casey Marie Bogus cum laude, Patrick Wilford Yadal III, Serena Olivia Spurgeon cum laude, Sydney McGuire Buckman, Christina Marie Voss, Katie Elizabeth Jones, Emily Grace Clay cum laude, Elizabeth Grigsby Reburn, magna cum laude, Joyce Suzanne Eccleston, Tiffany Lorraine Evans, Aaliyah Patricia Louise Edwards, Asia Monet Golston, Morgan Alexandra Jose, Alexandria Louise Beckman, Brittany Lynn Etherly, Chloe Denise Allen, magna cum laude, Efrich Leon E.J. Purnell Jr., Landon M. Reed, Kara Faye Williams, magna cum laude, Peyton Joe Lawler, cum laude, Molly Elizabeth Odom, Regina Faye Russell, cum laude, Isabella Dawn Wilson, Carrie Ann Colwell, cum laude, Carly Renee Oliver, Brandy Montez Ham, Chelsea Megan Lucas, Luke Randall Stevenson, Robert Hunter Carter, Mallory Alexandra Kirk, Maudicella Williams, Christine Oyubanachi, Michael Brian Long, Logan Daniel Haddock, William Dustin Bates, Ryan Thomas Shedd, Robert Conrad Williams, Andrew Franklin Kazire, Fallon Schatz, Suzanne Nicole Sims, Angel Michelle Gray, Austin Terrell Caraway, Stephanie Nicole Willis. Miss Willis will have her diploma presented by her stepfather, Dr. Terry D. Richardson, Professor of Biology. Lee Adam Brooks, Tyler Scott Blevins, Erica Juniak, Jared Dwayne Vaughn, Hunter Lee Vandiver, Charday Elliott, Adrian D. Waldrop, Colin Gray Hooper, Marvell A. Allen, Matthew Gaston. Mr. Gaston will have his diploma presented by his father, Dr. Gregory Gaston, Professor of Geography. Pam Bishop, Brianna Dawn Jackson, Hunter Ryan Haney, Christian James Clemens, Philip Lewis Patton, Samuel Avery Dotson, Samuel Joseph Schaefer, summa cum laude. Kara Renee Wodu, cum laude. Savannah Lee Watson, cum laude. Jacob Forrest Phillips, summa cum laude. Brett Micah Dupree. Robert E. Ray III, cum laude. Kashayla Shantanese Gary. Mackenzie Ann Ridge. Bridget L. Crow. Shaquila Irene Nunn. Jerica Bragan Burns. Nicholas Glenn Griffin. Marissa Perrin Phillips. Destiny Star Woods, magna cum laude. Derek Adrian Kaufman. Mr. Kaufman will have his diploma presented by his wife, Dr. Amanda H. Kaufman, Associate Professor of Chemistry. Timothy Isaac Edward Heinkel. Adam Mustafa Berjawi. Callie Estes Thornton. Lisa Renee Seal. Wenjing Zhang. Francis Jetty Bowley. Tyler Mewburn. Bailey Elizabeth Jackson. Timothy Jackson Wynn. Skylar Nicholas Jolliffe. Nicholas Arthur Rhodes. Heath Nicholas Franks, cum laude. Clayton Michelle Daniel. Victoria Ann Quintanilla. April Marie Wojcik. Cody Lane Terry, magna cum laude. Jared Heath Collier. Dominic LaShawn Summerhill. Emily Lauren Murphy, summa cum laude. Travis Dykes Jr. Malik Deshaun Garner. Eli Floriverto Phillips. William Colt Parker. John Spencer Moore III. Jeremiah Sheldon Moore. Davian Dwayne Talley. Lauren Sidney Wisher. Holly Joanna Carr. William Joseph Wade. Bradley Lane Bray. Casey Lynn Copeland, magna cum laude. Caitlin Taylor Spillman, summa cum laude. Eric Mitchell Busby, magna cum laude. Allison Ann Fleming. Hunter Chase Abrams. Whitney Kayla Hunt, summa cum laude. Krista Lene Brown. Leslie Elaine Fuller. Hallie Nicole Abernathy, cum laude. Catherine Danielle Trotty, cum laude. Chloe Lauren Kessler, cum laude. Christine Marie White. Hannah Kemp Fry, cum laude. Christy Renee Hinton. Courtney Marie Gibson, magna cum laude. Jessica Ray Lovell. Kaylee Jade Cross, cum laude. Haley Jean Keaton, cum laude. Jalissa McCoy. Julie Ann Nalbach. Shayna Horn Vaughn. Adriana Danielle Horn. Andrea Marguerite Sexton. Mitchell Shea Lovell. Ryan Adam Harden.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we honor all these graduates with a well-deserved round of applause. Would everyone please remain seated until the end of the ceremony? Please remain seated. Graduates, as you know, many people have helped and supported you to reach this goal of graduation. I invite you now to help me show our appreciation to them. At this time, I would ask all family members, parents, grandparents, spouses, children, cousins, aunts, and uncles, please stand. Graduates, recognize them, thank them. Any other treasured friends, other relatives, please stand and be recognized. Thank you all. Thank you all. Please be seated. Graduates, we commend you for your hard work, personal sacrifices, and perseverance that have led you to the platform this morning to receive your degrees. We're so proud of you, as are your families and friends. As you leave this university to make your mark in the world, I have one small request of you. Take UNA with you wherever you go. Take UNA with you. Carry us in your heart wherever you go. And when you meet fellow alumni of this great university, greet them with a hearty Roar Lions. Truly, we send our very best to you. I'd like to thank Dr. Ross Alexander, Dr. Jeff Bibby, and Mr. Ron Patterson for their assistance in today's program. I'd like to remind the recipient of the Keller Key Award to come to the stage immediately following the recessional for publicity photos. Now, if the audience will please rise and join with the graduating class in the singing of one verse of the alma mater. Please remain standing after that for the recessional.